Creating a vendor invoice. Let us explore the various ways in which you can create a vendor invoice. You can create a vendor invoice from a purchase order that has been validated and approved by clicking on the appropriate button. Information available in the purchase order, such as vendor, payment terms, and project, are copied automatically into the vendor invoice. You can also create a vendor invoice or credit note from a third party who is a vendor by navigating to the Vendor tab. You can also create a vendor invoice directly from the Vendor Invoices menu under the Billing and Payments tab. Choose the vendor you are creating the invoice for. Choosing the invoice type. Credit note invoices can be created to replace or correct previously issued invoices, and they can only be issued from a third party by navigating to the Vendor tab or from the invoice you want to correct. You will be able to consume this credit note later to reduce the amount to be paid for a validated invoice. Choose the invoice date, payment due date, payment terms, payment type, bank account, and currency. If the module Project is enabled, you will be able to choose a project. Add any public or private notes. Once the invoice is created, you can add products and services along with the pricing information for the same. You can add multiple products and services. You can choose from existing products and services in order to pre-fill the pricing information. Use the Linked Files menu to add any attachments to the vendor invoice. Validating and sending the vendor invoice. Click on Validate to validate the vendor invoice. Now the invoice is ready to be sent to your vendor. A default template is used for the generated PDF file. You can now use the Send Email button to send the invoice to your vendor. Note that all the invoice details are automatically attached to the email. Vendor invoices payments. If you have received payment for a vendor invoice, click on the Enter Payment button to record the payment in the system. Choose the date, payment type, and account to credit. Enter the transaction number and any comments. Enter the payment amount and confirm the payment. Note that if you received a partial payment, you will be able to enter a payment again. Once the full payment due for the vendor invoice has been received and recorded, the vendor invoice is automatically closed. If you wish to mark an invoice as paid, click on the appropriate button. The vendor invoice is automatically closed with a paid status. You can issue a credit note for a vendor invoice by clicking on the appropriate button. Note that the invoice type has been set to Credit Note, with the invoice which is to be revised being automatically chosen. Fill in the required fields in order to create the credit note. If you have made payment in excess, click on the appropriate button to convert excess paid into an available discount. The discount can now be consumed in another invoice. For validated credit notes, you can enter a refund instead of a payment, but you can also decide to convert the credit notes into a credit available for this vendor. So you will be able to consume the discount available later, reducing the amount payable on another validated invoice. Vendor invoices module features. Use the clone button if you want to create a similar vendor invoice in the future. You can view the list of vendor invoices with the relevant payment status in the list view. You can also view the list based on vendor invoice status such as draft, not paid, and paid. Payments received from vendors are available under the Payment List view. You can create reports for payments received on a monthly basis. The report is instantly available for download in the PDF format. Statistics gives a bird's-eye view of all vendor invoices. You can filter the statistics based on the available parameters. There are plenty of other features that can be enabled from the setup. Also, like most Dolibar modules, you can add your own custom fields to your vendor invoices, and you will be able to export your database of vendor invoices and vendor payments.